Attitude check. Bronco Pride.
Welcome to FSUBroncos.com. I am Brian Barber, and I'm here with Coach Chip Vaughn for our Fayetteville State football team. So I would just want to welcome you to the interview. How are you doing today?
Appreciate it. I'm doing great.
So I want you to just go over for the people what exactly you do for our team.
Well, I am the secondary coach. I get everybody in the back end straight lined up so we don't give up a lot of points.
Okay. So what is it like kind of going into each game, kind of saying, you have to do your job with that experience that you've had in the past? How is it kind of being able to take that training now?
Well, it's like this. Every game is a chess match,
Right.
So you have to try to figure out what your opponent likes to do, and then you try to make him do things that he doesn't like to do.
Right.
So that is our focus every week.
So how was it kind of coming into each game? This is your second season, correct?
Correct.
So how is it kind of making that transition, kind of coming to the Fayetteville State team and having to learn the whole players and kind of now coming in as your second season, returning, having some of the same players you had last season and now even some new players coming in?
Okay, so last year, the secondary we had was a group that was filled with seniors, so everybody's gone now, so
Right.
we had to go out, we hit the road hard, and we recruited, so my group this year, we got everybody's brand new. It's a mixture between transfer guys and true freshmen, straight from high school. So the biggest difference from last year until now, it's personnel. That's it.
Right.
That's the only difference.
So how was it kind of going out in that recruiting process, knowing that while we don't really have much to work with, knowing that last year you had seniors graduating, and this year you kind of have to rebuild from start. So how is that recruiting process different from, let's say, if you had maybe some sophomores returning in? How is it kind of coming back in knowing that you have to kind of start from scratch?
That's a good question. It was actually pretty fun, because you knew that you had a chance to go out and recruit guys that you wanted,
Right.
guys that fit your scheme and guys that you could actually handpick, So it was actually extremely fun, and we signed guys that fit our scheme to the T.
All right. So if I read correctly, you originally you coached at Winston Salem before here, correct?
Correct, yep.
So how is it kind of coming from Winston Salem to Fayetteville State and knowing that here that's one of our biggest rival games?
rival,
So
right.
how is it kind of, do you still have that, some players probably come in and say, oh, there goes coach, but knowing that now you kind of have to worry about not trying to keep that friendly base. You got to say, okay, we got to play, we got to beat you guys this game. So how is it kind of having that?
Well, I gotta say thanks to Coach Hayes. He brought me here with him, and from us being there at Winston, pretty much the biggest change is just the jersey color.
Right.
Besides that, we just kind of just started this whole thing from the ground up, and we have a ton of friends still there, and
Right.
admin, athletic staff, and we all still stay in touch, but we know at that last game of the season that I know what time it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely. So, going into a Winston-Salem game, it's one of the biggest games of the year. So how do you kind of prepare for that? Coming in last year, kind of saying, okay, Winston-Salem is one of our biggest rivals of the year. We know it's going to be a good game. So how do you kind of prepare going into a Winston-Salem game or just any game in particular?
Well, truthfully, it hasn't been that much of a rival because they always won, right? So we're trying to change that here, So we're just trying to let the guys know that the past is just that.
Right.
The past. We don't really come in saying that, well, they're the top dog, this is 2017.
Right.
Last year, like I said, is the past. And so we feel like that the championship is up for grabs.
Absolutely. So how is it kind of coming in this Saturday, going into Wingate? What is your guys' kind of mindset, especially coming off that big win last weekend? What is it kind of coming into this weekend's game?
We really just want to be 1-0. That's it. However we get that done, that's all that matters, So we know that Wingate is a very well-coached team. They have some great athletes on both sides of the ball. And so we know that we got to have our game plan airtight. We got to play mistake-free football. We got to play all 4 quarters.
Right. So especially this weekend being the first home game, how important is you guys to kind of train separately from having to go away, knowing that this is going to be the first game at Luther Gerald Stadium? So how is it kind of you guys preparing for this first home game of the year?
Pretty much it's the same as we did last week. It's just now that we're going to be feeding off that home crowd energy right now. You know, we are anticipating a packed house. You know, we have over 115 guys that are on our team right now. You know, so I think tickets, I think the last time I heard, they're sold out.
Wow.
So we know that Saturday night there and Nick Gerald is going to be rocking. So we can't wait.
So how important is that first home game for you guys, especially that first home win? How important is this game?
Oh, it's big, you know, because I don't think Fayetteville State has won a home opener in about 10 years. And so we're trying to change that, and we're trying to recreate our own history right now. So it is going to be a huge game, but like I said, we are not concerned about the past at all. As soon as Coach Hayes got here, you know, he let it be known that we are starting from scratch, and everything forward is going to be a new day here at Fayetteville State.
So how important, like you talked about Coach Hayes bringing you here, how important is that kind of having that bonding with your coaches and being able to trust each other as a team?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, we have, I want to say, like one of the best work atmospheres there. You know, you know, because like you have to love the place that you work in, and plus we spend so much time here. You know, from 14, 16, 18-hour days, where if you don't like the guy working with you, you know, it's going to be pretty tough. But we have an awesome staff. Everybody, you know, gels. So it's been fun the whole time.
Since coming to Fayetteville State, what would you say has been like your favorite highlight moment?
Favorite highlight moment so far, I want to say, was homecoming last year. It was a big win, but also I want to say it was our first win when we played Shaw in that hurricane last year.
Yeah.
You know, that was a game that we could have easily just tanked, you know, because everything was stacked against us. But we found a way, pulled it out, and that's when we kind of made that little run last year. So I think it was those two games, right, the biggest moments for us.
So how is it kind of going into a game? Well, every game people depend on you, but how is it kind of going into a game knowing that, especially after like a tragedy like the hurricane, people are kind of looking for the team to kind of bring their spirits up?
You know, you just know that you have folks that are counting on you, you know, because sports has always been like an outlet, you know. So we know that every time we touch that field that you're playing for somebody, you know, that the game is bigger than yourself. And so we always tell our guys that you're playing for the name that's on the back of your jersey and also what's on the front. So that's all it is, tell them that.
So I just want to talk about your story personally. How exactly did you get into football?
I got into football. I was living in Houston, Texas, and I was a personal football coach there because, you know, it's huge, right?
Yeah.
So I had a friend that contacted me about a job as a coach, and I was like, because at the time I had just retired, and so I wasn't really trying to get back into that football life, you know. So I kind of just prayed on it, and then I woke up and was like, all right, let's go. So that's how I got into it. So actually I started off as a intern at Winston Salem State, and then I got made into a full-time safety coach there, and then Coach Hayes got the job here, and he said, hey, Chip, let's roll. So came along with him here.
All right, so one final question. What would you say is the biggest thing you're looking forward to this upcoming season?
The biggest thing I'm looking forward to is the growth of my true freshmen. We have maybe about 7, 8 guys that are playing a lot right now, and every day they just keep getting better and better and better. We have a motto within our group is that we're just trying to get one day better every day. That's it. So I think that is what I'm truly looking forward to.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this interview. For FSUBroncos.com, I am Brian Barber.